Alright, when using the distributive property, you're going to multiply what's on the outside to everything that's on the inside. If the number on the outside is written behind the set of numbers that we're multiplying, you still do the same thing. We have negative 8 times 3, which is negative 24. Negative 8 times 6 is negative 48. Now when I'm subtracting, I have to use additive inverse to change this to addition. Keep your first number, change subtraction to addition, take the opposite of the second number. My signs are now the same, so I add them and keep the sign. 8 plus 4 is 12, and 4 plus 3 is 7, so it is negative 72. For 26, we distribute 4 times 11 is 44. 4 times, when you're multiplying the second number, circle that number and the sign in front of it. That will tell you if it's subtraction, then you're going to make that second number negative. If it's adding, you're going to make it positive. So this is 7. 4 times negative 5. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. And 44 minus 20 is 24. For 27, we have the number at the end. Negative 5 times 12 is negative 60. Negative 5 times negative 4 is positive 20. My signs are different, so I subtract. 60 minus 20 is 40, and my bigger number is negative, so my answer is negative. All right, when you have variables, negative 8 times A is just negative 8A, and negative 8 times B is negative 8B. So our simplified answer is negative 8A minus 8B. 5 times 2B is 10B. And 5 times 8 is 40. 10B plus 40. Negative 2 times P is negative 2P. And negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. So our answer is negative 2P minus 14. Teresa is planning on making a fleece blanket for her nephew. She learns that the fabric she wants to use is $7.99 per yard. Find the total cost of 4 yards of fabric. Justify your answer by using the distributive property. So if she wants 4 yards and it's $7.99 per yard, then we're going to multiply $7.99 times 4. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 9 is 36 plus 3 is 39. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 plus 3 is 31. She will spend a total of $31.96. You're ordering t-shirts with your school's mascot printed on them. Each t-shirt costs $4.75. The printer charges a setup fee of $30 and $2.50 to print each shirt. Write the two expressions to represent the total cost of printing in shirts. So when you're screen printing shirts, you charge an initial fee of $30. Plus, you're charging $4.75 to buy the shirt, and then $2.50 to make each shirt. We don't know how many shirts they're going to make, so we're going to multiply the total number of shirts by that $4.75 plus the $2.50 the company is charging to make each shirt. So it says to write two expressions to represent the total cost. So we could do 30 plus N times the cost of the shirt plus the cost to make each shirt, which is the same thing as the initial setup fee of 30 plus $4.75 for each shirt plus $2.50 to make each shirt. So once we knew how many shirts we were going to make, we could plug that number in for our variable and solve to find the total price that we're going to have to pay the company to make these shirts. All right, 5/10 x times y minus z. So we're going to distribute 5/10 x times y is 5/10 xy. You just, when you're multiplying a variable by another variable, unless it's a variable that is itself, like x times x, when you just have x times y, then you just write xy. 5/10 x times negative z is negative 5/10 xz. This is the same thing as saying 5/10 xy plus negative 5/10 xz, because remember, subtracting is the same thing as adding the opposite, but this top answer is the most simplified answer, because to have the most simplified answer, you want to have written the least amount of stuff possible. That's what the most simplified answer will be. Negative 6a times 2b plus 5c. Negative 6a times 2b is negative 12ab. Negative 6a times 5c is negative 30ac. Negative 4m times 3n is negative 12mn. And negative 12 times negative 6p is positive 24mp. Negative 12mn plus 24mp. Alright, 3 times 2y plus 4z. 3 times 2y is 6y. And 3 times 4z is 12z. 6y plus 12z. Negative 2 times 3a is negative 6a. Negative 2 times negative 2b is positive 4b. Negative 6a plus 4b. Negative 6 times 12 is negative 72p. And negative 6 times 8 is positive 48n. Negative 72p plus 48n. Alright, write two equivalent expressions for the area of the figure. The figure is a triangle. To find the area of a triangle, we do 1/2 base times height. A triangle is just half of a rectangle. So to find the area of a rectangle, you do length times width. So to find the area of a triangle, you just multiply the base times the height, and then you divide by 2. So it tells us to write two different expressions, two equivalent expressions for solving for the area. Now we have a variable for the height, so we can't find the exact area, but we can write a formula to help us figure it out. We have 1/2 times the base, which is 16, times the height is x plus 4. So that's one expression. Something that is equivalent to that expression is you can go ahead and multiply 1/2 times 16 is 8, and multiply 8 by x plus 4. So when you're finding the area of a triangle because of the distributive property, you can multiply that base times the height, and then divide it by 2, because that's what happens when you multiply by 1/2. Or you can find half of the base, then multiply that by the half. Celeste is going to summer camp. The table below shows the cost of items she will need to purchase with camp logo. Celeste needs to buy 4 of each item. Which expression cannot be used to find the total cost of items? So she's having about 4 of each item. We can add up the cost of all of the items she has to buy. 8 plus 450 is 1250. And 1250 plus 225 is 1475. We can multiply this total by 4, which is represented by A. And we're looking for which one cannot be used to find the total. So A is not an option because A is one way that you can find your answer. Multiplying each item by 4, 4 times 8 plus 4 times 450 plus 4 times 250 will also give you the same answer. So it's not B. Multiplying 4 times all of these added together, which is what we basically did for A, is also a correct way to find it, so it's not D. C says to multiply 4 times the t-shirt, then add 450 for the shorts, and then 225 for the socks. C only gives you 1 pair of shorts and 1 pair of socks, but you have to buy 4 of each item, so C is not the correct way to solve for this number. Which property is demonstrated in the equation? This is the distributive property. Because 4 times x is 4x and 4 times 8 is 32. So this uses the distributive property to show that those are equivalent. Which equation is an example of the distributive property? 5 times 2 plus y is equal to 5 times 2 plus 5 times y. This is the distributive property. But let's look at the other ones. 5 plus 2 plus y equals 5 plus 2 plus y. The grouping, the parentheses, change, so it's changing what the number is associating with. So this represents the associative property. 5 plus 2 plus y is equal to 2 plus 5 plus y. What's in the parentheses stays the same, but it's changing the order, so it's moving around. That's the commutative property. And for D, 5 plus 2 plus y equals y plus 5 plus 2. You're just switching your y and your parentheses. Nothing inside the parentheses is changing, so that's still the commutative property. The table shows the number of seniors, adults, and children going to a group trip to an aquarium. The tickets are $14.95 per person. Find the total cost of tickets. Justify your answer using the distributive property. So this is going to be $14.95 per ticket. We've got 7 seniors plus 11 adults plus 12 children. So I can multiply $14.95 plus 7 times 7, $14.95 times 11, $14.95 times 12, and then add all those together. Or I can add up how many tickets I'm buying. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 1 plus 2 is 3. I'm buying a total of 30 tickets at $14.95 a ticket. So I can just multiply the cost by how many total tickets I'm buying. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And there are 2 decimal places. So you would spend $448.50. All right, for 44 through 46, evaluate if x equals 9 and y equals 3. So we're going to plug in 9 for x and 3 for y everywhere we see that in these equations. So this is 9 plus 3 minus 58. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 minus 58, I have to do additive inverse. I have different signs, so I'm going to subtract. 8 minus 2 is 6. 5 minus 1 is 4. My bigger number is negative, so my answer is negative 46. For 45, y is 9, so that's 9 to the third power. Y is 3, x is 9. 3 to the third power plus 9 to the third power. 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 9 times 9. 9 times 9 is 81. 81 times 9 is 729. I add those together and get 756. 46, y to the fourth power minus 128. Y is 3. 3 to the fourth power minus 128. We do the exponent first. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. I have 81 minus 28. I add the opposite. Different signs subtract. And that gives me 47. My bigger number is negative, so my answer is negative. 4x plus 450, my coefficient is 4. My variable is x, and my constant is 450.